When I started, we had volunteers who were working all day long. But this particular lady, boy, the patients loved her. They looked forward to her. She just was magical with patients. I'd been here a few months, and she said, you know, I've been thinking about retiring from volunteering. And I said, well, I don't know why you would do that. And she said, well, I am 88.
I was lonely. I needed something, and this was it.
This sounded like a good opportunity to just keep myself active.
The biggest reason I volunteer is that I'm a big believer that if the universe gives you something, you need to give something back.
15 years ago, I had a TIA, which is like a mini stroke. So I was in the hospital, and I started talking to folks around there and said, you know, I'd kind of like to volunteer here. And that's how I got into the hospital.
People come through that door and we don't know what situation they're dealing with.
Yeah, we're at the face of the hospital, I think of it, when they first get there.
I'm basically the point man for hi, how are you? And then when we find out what they need, Leif is called a floor runner. And he takes people, shows them where they need to be. He runs specimens between the lab and the various departments. And
the best part is running flowers to different people. Those are great. That's, yeah, especially when you get all the nurses on the hallway wanting to know if they can have the flowers.
The hospital offers an awful lot to an awful lot of people, and I think we're all here to make it a better place. And the beauty of the gift shop is that all of the proceeds of our sales go back to the hospital. Sometimes coming in when people are having a difficult time and you chat with them a little bit and they go out feeling a little bit better, that's really something that makes you feel good as well.
We've grown from our volunteers being just the gift shop and maybe a couple areas, the information areas, to just about every single department that is part of Olympic Medical Center and Olympic Medical Physicians now. We've got them down in SWIM, the Cancer Center.
We have pet therapy dogs here, and that is that's my favorite program. I love these pets that come in. One day, a little boy had gone off his medications, desperately needed to get into the ER. He locked himself in the car. His mom was desperate. She couldn't get him to unlock it, and he absolutely needed to get in. So our volunteer walked over with the pet therapy dog, and the little boy opens the door, and he walks all the way to the ER, got his meds, and it saved his parents a lot of trauma.
This is Dora. She's a therapy dog. We visit the facilities in SWIM in Port Angeles. It's very rewarding. Some people really connect with the dogs. You see a smile on their faces. The interesting thing is in the Cancer Center and the hospital, it's not just the patients that we are visiting, it's the staff.
I volunteer at the front desk at 8:40 on Fridays, and I work at the jewelry sale, and I sell ducks. You help people that looks like they're lost or forlorn, and they need somebody to make them smile.
There are so many important things they do, but the most important thing is that they are there. Cancer patients feel very alone. They feel very much like they're the only one who has this horrible disease and nobody cares. And then this volunteer stops and says, let me show you to your room. Would you like a cup of coffee? Would you like a warm blanket? And yes, those are all things that patients need. But what they're really saying is, I care, I'm here.
My favorite thing, of course, is the patients, because I work on Wednesday, so I see the same patients all the time. There's everything to do here, aside from making the patients comfortable. You have supplies to stock, you run to the lab. Your world is small, and if you get to really talk with the patients, you can learn so much about them.
I am one of the charge nurses here at Olympic Medical Cancer Center in infusion. We love our volunteers. They are just such a crucial part of what we do. They help us with keeping the patients comfortable. They do the things that we just don't have the time to do. And they may even notice something with a patient that we haven't. They have a lot more time to sit with a patient and talk to them.
When my husband retired and we moved here, in 2012, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I lived, obviously, and I was very thankful. And again, I feel like if you're given something, you should give something back. And this is a perfect place. You see all kinds of people here. And some of them just want to talk. They just want somebody to talk to, and that's nice, just to be able to provide an ear for somebody.
Our auxiliary has a history here. We go back to 1953. This year alone, the auxiliary is donating $35,000 back to the hospital from our fundraising events and the gift shop. And this year, Julie can tell you a little bit about where it's going.
This year they're donating that money to upgrade our new baby floor security system. So overall they're donating $35,000 to it. They also do scholarships every year, and I think they've increased it to 4 $1,500 scholarships this year to students. So they do quite a bit.
Came up with a slogan a few years ago, give me 5, meaning give me 5 more hours. 5 more hours in the year, above and beyond what you're currently doing, and we can do some really amazing things.
Oh,
That's a long list.
Yeah, they're okay.
We'll have to come back to some if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that anybody who sees this will think about anything you can do to make someone else's life better. A heartfelt and humble thank you to the men and women who volunteer with our organization. We would not be the same without you, and because of you, we are a much, much more fulfilling service for our patients.